USL Soccer takes center stage today in Spokane as Velocity FC welcomes Central Valley Fuego for the opening match, the first ever match of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Thank you so much for joining us today from Spokane, and let's take a look at the format of this brand new tournament. There's a lot to be excited about here. There's 8 games of group play, and the teams are grouped geographically. There will be rivalries. There will be shootout drama. There will be goals galore. Goals scored is the first tiebreaker, and every game that finishes tied will go directly to a penalty shootout. The winning team awarded an extra point in the group standings. Speaking of those groups, let's take a look at how they shape up in this 2024 edition. You'll see Spokane and Central Valley taking place in the West Group today. Those teams in bold are the teams top in the USL regular season standings coming into this week. There's balance, there's rivalries, and the 3 teams that win each division will be in the semifinals. For Spokane Velocity, they're coming off a 10-day road trip that finished off in Richmond. And it was Roman Mettenaire who duplicated his season opening heroics, and Andre Lewis slamming the door shut as Spokane Velocity got out of there with their first road win in team history. Luis Gil may not have been on the scoreboard, but he is always dangerous, and he is our player to watch tonight as the number 10 has the keys to Lee Wiedmann's team, a USL League One legend ready to apply his craft in this brand new cup competition. Meanwhile, on the other side for Central Valley Fuego, they had a tough go of things last time out at home against Chattanooga Red Wolves, who found their feet with 4 goals. But Central Valley did manage 2 of their own in this game, and the bright spot, they've had 2 weeks off to recover, to reset, and they've got a clean slate today in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Now, Zaire Vasquez was a player who got on the scoreboard in that 4-2 defeat, and he is our player to watch. He will start up top for Central Valley, where he has scored 2 goals in his 5 appearances this season, trying to spoil the fun in Spokane as we get this brand new cup competition underway. Well, we're just moments away from kickoff. Thank you for joining us today on this historic occasion. We can't wait to get started. We'll be right back after this.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Live on the edge this summer with professional soccer in Spokane. Check out the Velocity FC 5-match flex package. You get to pick 4 matches and see an international friendly versus the renowned Chivas de Guadalajara from Mexico on June 2nd. Secure your matches and seats while this special offer lasts.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. Spokane Velocity. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what Lee Wiedemann thinks. This has been one of the most consistent starting 11s all season in USL League One, and there are no changes to today's lineup. Josh Doling, the main man, up top. Now let's take a look at Fuego FC. Jermaine Jones going with a little bit of a different theory here in this new cup competition. Plenty of rotation for Central Valley and a number of players making debuts on this season. So here we go. Today, the heartbeat of American soccer takes on a new pulse. For Central Valley Fuego, it's a clean slate, a reprieve from the struggles of league play. For Spokane Velocity, a chance to prove that their flying start to life in League One is more than just a fabulous first act. 12 teams, one shot at glory. It all starts right here in the USL Jägermeister Cup. I'm Parker Johnson. Thank you for joining us for this momentous occasion as Central Valley Fuego applying the early pressure into crossfield ball. Not brought down at first by Gomez, but he keeps it in play. Eyeing up across, and Vasquez is in the middle. Headed away by Marcelo Lage. A quick start by the visitors. And out for our first corner kick of the match, just about 30 seconds in. On a cloudy day here in Spokane. Corner kick coming up, presented by Idaho Central Credit Union. 60 degrees at kickoff and breezy. Lovely weather for soccer, if you ask me. Maybe not the most sunshiny. And this is Javier Mariona taking the corner kick. Sent in and headed away again by Lage. Early on, showing his dominance in the air. The big center back as John Brown takes a positive touch, but he's closed down by Derek Waldeck at left back for Spokane. John Brown is loading up the throw-in. Slings it towards the front of the 6-yard box. Again, it's Lage, but it's right back out to John Brown. Chested down and controlled well by Josh Doling, doing that defensive work. He truly does it all for Spokane Velocity. Started every game at striker. I mentioned the unchanged lineup. 9 of their players have started all of their League One contests, and all 9 of them are in the starting lineup today for the first game of the Jägermeister Cup. Offside against Pierre Reedy, trying to dash in behind and cause problems as he has all season. Has been an absolute revelation, providing 2 assists for Velocity FC. Consistent presence on the left wing and just a constant player that the defenders have to worry about. It's definitely a makeshift back line today for Central Valley Fuego. They went with a lot more changes than Spokane did, and Jermaine Jones putting faith in some new guys. Deshaun Nembhard came in just before their last match, so he gets his second start in a Fuego uniform. And his partner back there today is Acha Issa Yaya, who is making his club debut. Also have Clayton Torr, who doesn't always start. He'll be along the back line as well, as Yaya stepped out, didn't win it, and it's Kamarni Smith who takes some contact. All ball, says the referee, and Fuego can play on here. Apollon turning through traffic. Thought he had the run from Gomez, but the ball will trickle out of play, and that gives us an opportunity to check out our injury report presented by Kinetic Chiropractic. For the home side, DuPont and Rojas, unfortunately, have been out for all the games so far for Spokane. Haven't gotten to join up with this brand new squad in their expansion season, but a couple of talented players. Saw Rojas briefly in the Open Cup. But the units that are available today, still plenty strong for Spokane. Waldeck among them. He turns, passes off to Reedy. Nice 1-2 worked with Doling. Big touch around the corner, gets past Torr and cut back on the angle. Heel picking it up inside the box and getting some touches. Out for a corner, and this is where the danger lies for Spokane velocity. Great on set pieces. Well, it appears I was mistaken. Looks like this will be a goal kick here. I thought that Heel had played it off the defender. Instead, Fuego will restart, and they go short from the goal kick where Doling tracked it down and won the ball back high up the pitch for Spokane. Heel is in range as soon as he touches the ball. He proved that a couple games ago against Lexington. And looking for the ball around the corner for Smith. Not quite on the same page. Here's Andre Lewis. Scorer last game against Richmond. And Doling pawed away. Andre Zuluaga getting his first save. He was alert to the run and the shot of Doling. Great interplay from Spokane as Waldeck got to the end line and the cutback was perfect. Doling came at him quickly. He did his best to redirect it. Couldn't find the corner. And Zuluaga gets the start that he will have wanted in a rare appearance for him this season. The 20-year-old out of Miami, came from the Inter Miami Academy, and he was acquired from Las Vegas Lights in the offseason. So plenty of experience, but this is his first USL match of the season. And again, Jermaine Jones told me that he's more into the rotational strategy for this cup competition, as Yaya does the defending and gets across well. We'll see if this is a throw or a corner, but either way, let's take a look at Central Valley Fuego's injury report, again presented by Kinetic Chiropractic. A much bigger list for the traveling team, most notably Mo Espinosa, Jason Ramos out with long-term injuries, and Remus, a big miss for them as well, as he'll get set for this Idaho Central Credit Union corner. Absolute logjam in front of Zuluaga. Headed away first by Central Valley. Kept in play and eventually shielded over the end line by Coronado. So down quite a few players who would be starters. Jermaine Jones expressed frustration with the fact that really since their very first game of the League One season, when they notched their only win of this campaign against Tormenta, they haven't been able to field what he believes is their strongest team due to various injuries and then the rotation of cup play. And that is still the case today, but a statement that shows there is still a lot of room for this team to grow. And Apollon went for the fancy flick. Tracked down well by that Spokane back line. In fact, Jermaine Jones' first words to me when I asked him about the USL Jägermeister Cup, he said, "That's a German brand, isn't it?" So a funny crossover for the, of course, German-born U.S. international soccer superstar who spent a good chunk of his career playing in Germany, 189 appearances between Frankfurt and Schalke. Longmire setting up shop with Lodge. And picked up by Fernandez. Central Valley holding off the pressure, allowing Spokane a bit of possession. They are a high possession team, high in the passes completed. Over 460 per game. And the cross lacked the right angle from Waldeck. But you can see the patience of Spokane and early on, Waldeck has really been causing problems up that left side. The combination with Pierre Reedy getting in behind this makeshift back line for Central Valley Fuego. Again, happy to build out. It's Acha Yaya into the feet of Vasquez. He goes down and earns a free kick. So playing out, working well that time. Acha Yaya, perhaps a player that you're not as familiar with as well for Fuego. Much like this man on the ball, Javier Mariona. A couple of young players getting their shot here in the Cup. So Jermaine Jones taking that chance, and Yaya, who is on the ball here, he's got good pedigree. Had a stint with New York Red Bulls, grown up in the Bronx. And here's Doling, took a hand out from Clayton Torr. Now, did the referee spot it? He sure did. And we're going to the pocket, a yellow card early on. Josh Doling causing problems in behind, and Torr, it'll be interesting to see how much he knew about this one. You could definitely see the contact. There may have been a little look back before as well. So a justified yellow card, I think, for the referee. And another set piece coming up for Spokane. They've sent the big bodies forward, Longmire and Lodge there at the back post. Marnie Smith, another good target. And they've got a delivery on either foot, depending if Waldeck or Heel takes this one. Ten yards given by Michael Zapata as Heel peers into the area. Will be Heel or Waldeck here. Doling joining the party late as we enter the 12th minute of the first game of the USL Jägermeister Cup here in Spokane. It's Heel, back stick, oh, so close. One of those cross come shot come cross, and whiskers away from Zuluaga's goal. What an attempt. Well, fans, scan the QR code to play now for your guarantee to win one of 20 unique participating Spokane and Coeur d'Alene local restaurant discounts. Thank you to our football fuel partners, Caruso's, De Leon's Taco and Bar, the Burger Dock, Flatstick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Jimmy John's, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Steam Plant Restaurant and Brew Pub. Marcelo Lodge restarting as Spokane have been all over Fuego in the early going here. But a chance on the break if the ball was just a little bit softer. Mariona snuck in behind, but alert goalkeeping from Carlos Morancio. Sending it back out to the halfway line. As Mariona retreating to take this throw in here. Bounced it off of Heel. But perhaps a double ricochet. That will give Spokane the ball back. Spokane off to a flying start this season in their first USL League One campaign. Second in the standings on this pause this weekend for the cup matches. 10 points through their first 6 games. They have played more games than most of the other teams, but Central Valley, after 5 games, just 3 points on the board. That very first win against Tormenta, and then it's been a 4-game skid since then. So teams that are in opposite bits of form coming into this match. Central Valley went out in the second round of the Open Cup as Fernandez given out an early yellow card, so he matches Torr in the book. And 1 to either side. Michael Zapata taking control of this game early on. see what the 27-year-old thinks of that. Peruvian American who's had youth national team appearances for both. And here's another look at the contact. Certainly walled off. It may have been Reedy, in fact, who committed the infraction. But the card goes to Fernandez. Yaya launches it up the pitch, and Metaner heads away. You look at the diversity of squad that Lee Wiedman has put together. A player with the experience of Metaner, Luis Gil as well, even Colin Fernandez at 27 with a ton of professional experience. Mixing in with players familiar with League One like Derek Waldeck. As Vasquez on the chase here, Gomez has time to pick out his cross and only finds the head of Lodge, but it falls for John Brown, who wants to re-enter into the middle. Cut away by Spokane. Reedy. Still Reedy, dragged down. Chris Heckenberg will go into the book here, as he resorted to the rugby tackle, the Aussie. Already 3 yellow cards flying out in the opening 15 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't get much clearer than that. And Fernandez, certainly the first one to make that point after he had a challenge that he didn't quite think was worth a yellow before that. But Heckenberg definitely got his money's worth. Well, this is just our first match of the day. There are 3 other Jägermeister Cup games kicking off shortly. And interesting enough, the other game in the West Division, as you'll remember, these teams are split up into geographic regions with 4 teams apiece. So this is game 1 in the West, and the next game won't be until Wednesday night. So a little scoreboard watching for Northern Colorado and Union Omaha, as they can sit back and kick their feet up today. See how these teams play out the opening few games, the differing strategies. And goals scored are a huge incentive in the standings, so keep that in mind as well as we seek our opener here in Spokane. Manuel Gomez around the corner with Apollon, who disregards the pass back in order to keep the possession ticking. Fuego trying to spark some rhythm. Ooh, the flick was there. It nearly came off from John Brown. Positive signs as Fuego tried to grow into this game. Marnie Smith can't catch up to it up the sideline. But squeezing press from Spokane to win it back here. Fernandez with the spray. Great range of passing. Well, USL Velocity fans, scan the QR code to get your single match tickets today. Beautiful day at One Spokane Stadium. Plenty packed in for this inaugural Cup matchup. Just an outstanding home for soccer in Spokane. And they have been treated to an excellent start from their new team this season. Definitely have eyes on silverware. Lee Veeman made that very clear in our call this week. Reedy with the left foot! Pierre Reedy with the first goal of the USL Jägermeister Cup. The shot from distance, Spokane in front. It's all set up by Doling. The pressure is not tight enough on Reedy. And once he found that little gap, snuck it through a couple defenders in a beautiful driven finish with his left foot for his first goal of the season. Outstanding strike from Spokane's number 11. And a front foot start paid off with a goal. Looking for more, Heel. Quick turnover, didn't come to anything, and now Central Valley could have some numbers. Josh Doling got his first assist of the season for that Reedy goal. His link-up play has been invaluable for Spokane, and now he's got something on this stat sheet to show for that as well, as Smith was pressured from behind, and it's enough to cause an errant pass that was looking for Reedy. Metanier was trying to escape up the sideline and evacuated his right back position. Well, Central Valley trying to take advantage of the throw-ins here. Every chance they get to slow this game down and look for set pieces. Doling defending. And a Paulin to the back post. It hangs up in the breezy sky. Not long enough for John Brown to keep it in play. Wind gusts up to 10, 15 miles an hour today. Fuego able to squeeze the turnover off the goal kick. Here comes Mariona. Turn back for Tor. And up the sideline goes Reedy, who's switched flanks from his starting position out on the left. Metanair tracking down the loose ball. And Fernandez has it now. Oh, and a mistake from Waldeck. Pounced on by John Brown. Vasquez goes back out wide to him. And Fernandez eager to clean it all up. Came to the aid of Waldeck. Again, great hustle from Doling, but Yaya able to step through the tackle. Played forward for Mariona. Needs any kind of help in the box and unable to find a teammate. Now he's tracking back as Spokane go in transition. Game has really opened up here since the rather feeling out of the first period. Heel is in. Zuluaga has a mess to clean up here. He goes down, foul against Spokane. A huge opportunity. Zuluaga did enough to get to the first ball from Heel. He messes up the second clearance, and then he's taken out as he tried to come back in. What a sequence. .509 Syndicate roaring to life. Their team in front. Vasquez. Coronado looking for the long pass. Checks up on the turf, but not long enough for Gomez to reach it. Coffin corner throw in for Mettenair. Unique standing section behind the goal where the fans can get loud and proud and really make their impact felt right on top of the goal. And one of the great features of this stadium that opened its doors this year for Spokane. Also Spokane Zephyr coming into play this August as USL Super League gets started, the new women's first division. Really a new foundation of the Spokane community. Ball played through by Heckenberg. Apollon able to earn the corner off of Smith. As we cross 25 minutes played in Spokane. Fuego looking for a response from this Idaho Central Credit Union corner. Manuel Gomez has an in-swinging left-footed delivery from this side. Curled at the near post, and Tor was unable to flick it back. He was outside the frame of the goal, and that's always a tough header, especially when there isn't enough speed on the cross. But an opportunity goes begging for Central Valley from the corner kick. And Marancio gets us back in play with Waldeck. Coronado setting the tempo from the middle of the park. Crunching clash of heads between Waldeck and Mariona as Spokane come away with it. Kamarni Smith stretching the legs, and stretching even further was Achayaya. Vasquez is able to hold it up for his side, and he did very well defensively. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Great through ball looking for Smith. Offside in the end as Zuluaga shows off his power punch. But Spokane's ability to play direct in transition has been very effective so far. Ball's over the top, causing problems for Fuego. John Brown past one and fights it away from Waldeck. Ash Apollon lines it up. Marancio forced into a stop. He needs to make the second one as well. Vasquez was offside on the follow-up, but Marancio alert to the long-range effort from Ashkanoff Apollon. Again, given so much space, much like that goal for Reedy. This one not quite as far in the corner. Marancio able to make the initial parry and then pounce on the follow-up. Quickly from left to right, Metzner. Longmire, loose touch. Fernandez there to help clean it up. As we approach the half-hour mark in this first ever USL Jägermeister Cup match. Early goal from Pierre Reedy in the 20th minute for Spokane is a goal that will go down in history. It's the first ever in this brand new competition, our Western Division clash. The seams appearing for Spokane, and the long ball towards Reedy. Not quite there, but again, you see the patience and build-up eventually leading to having that extra man when you break the pressure, and then it's quickly looking up and finding the long ball. That pattern of success has been there all afternoon for Spokane here in this first half. Smith picking it up. Heel, test the touch of Metzner, who receives it back from Reedy. Metzner fired low, had the run from Kamarni Smith, and that sets up an Idaho Central Credit Union corner. Waldeck, one of the best crossers in this league. He takes him from this side, heel from the other. And keep an eye on Lodge and Longmire. Those two have made a habit of headed goals. Back post, Longmire over the top. Windmere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our Charity of the Month. It's more than a home, it's a way to give back. Please visit our site at www.windmerefoundation.com. Fuego still trying to find its rhythm. Two of the key pieces from their usual midfield, Mohamed Dabo and Jose Carrera Garcia, both out today. Both are available, however, on the bench, but Jermaine Gones going with a different unit, despite the 2 weeks of rest they had before this match. And early on, you can tell that the consistency and cohesion of Spokane's midfield by comparison has been a league above. Not to say that Central Valley haven't had their chances. But here comes Heel against Apollon, still going. Still going. Able to square him up, and great work from Luis Heel. Knowing he was beaten for pace, able to just string him along long enough and then gain all the territory and eventually drop it back so that Spokane here can apply the pressure in the attacking half. And the long ball, Waldeck. Oh, it sat up kindly for him. He fired it at the near post. And Zuluaga was alert. Great positioning from the goalkeeper to make sure that that spot was covered. Easy to cheat sometimes, especially a player like Waldeck who has such a good delivery. But he stayed strong at that near post and denied Spokane a second. Corner kick upcoming. Wind in the face of heel. It floats up. Back stick. And the jerseys, you could see, were being grabbed. Fernandez needs to be careful. He is on a booking. Oh, my fault. That was Reedy. So perhaps a little looser for him to be able to throw around shirt tugs in the box. Nothing out of the ordinary on a corner kick, of course. Mettener. Improvisational soccer tennis up the sideline. Reedy dashing up the touchline. And it's Doling. Gets it low. Smith! Great block from Tor. Threw his whole body on the line. Gomez in acres of space on the left side, waiting for that run from Vasquez, and it was a half-hearted run at that. Wasn't able to beat out Longmire. Waldeck into heel. Heel clip through for Kamarni Smith. One-on-one with Tor. Now gets help. And Mariona able to do enough. Ball trickling out of play. Let's take another look at that last opportunity. Doling in behind, and Yaya stuck the foot out but didn't make any contact, allowing it to roll through in the direction of Smith. Alert defending from Clayton Tor to back up his man. Velocity fans, get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Eight minutes to halftime, separated only by a Pierre Reedy goal. Spokane have had the better of the play, as would be expected from the second-place team in the League One standings coming into today. No changes to their last lineup, and they have looked very strong against an altered and injured Central Valley Fuego. Saw Mettener cutting in behind at the top of your screen. Longmire holding off. Lodge happy to let Fuego chase. Vasquez obliges. And Marancio sending it long. Heel. Smith on the overload. Served in delicately. And Zuluaga out to meet it. Again, Spokane slicing through that Central Valley midfield like a hot knife through butter. When Heel finds those pockets, it just becomes so dangerous, releasing Smith and Reedy on the other side. Heckenberg, no way to turn. So they play out and around. 1-2 for Mariona. Paulin found Heckenberg, and he's down, fouled by Waldeck. So deep free kick coming up for Central Valley Fuego. And we have word that some changes are afoot. There's your signal from the referee. First half changes coming from Jermaine Jones. He has said a few times that he is not afraid to make a big shift if he feels it necessary. As Mohamed Dabo is coming on, he can provide some stability in that midfield. You see he's got the paper instructions, and he's passing those along to his teammates here. So off went Javier Mariona. His club debut only lasts about 40 minutes. Ashkenoff Apollon also sacrificed, and I think that probably is a case of just shifting around the right players in the right formation here, more so than his performance. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out for the undermanned Central Valley Fuego. Plan A didn't work, and we go with Plan B, and Gomez swings it in. Dabo getting his first touches, providing that safety valve at the 6. Clipped forward, and the wind may have held it up. Heel, lovely pass into space for Metener. Metener getting back to his right foot, and Heckenberg was able to hold him up in transition. Gomez needs some help from Dabo as he was out of position. Scrambling back, and Heel finds Fernandez. Huge 5 minutes here for Central Valley Fuego. After the 2 changes, trying to solidify things before the half. Can't concede a second. Headed out for a corner. And maybe some new assignments here on defense. This Idaho Central Credit Union corner will be taken by Heel. This is his side. Got Waldeck as a short option, but always looking into the box here. Curled in over Zuluaga. Out for a goal kick. The inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup continues on Saturday, May 11th, with the second round games in group play starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Watch all the Cup games streaming exclusively on ESPN+. That will be our second round as the Cup competition gets underway today. Spokane trying to send a message to the league that they could be favorites for this new piece of silverware, but it will be a season-long competition. 8 matches of group play to start things off, and then the winners of each regional group advance to the semifinals. The 4th semifinalist decided by the non-group winner with the most goals scored. Spokane trying to add to that early tally. Wins are not enough. You want to try to rack up those goals if possible as well. And some huge collision after the ball was played up the touchline. That was a real dangerous play in front of the metal bleachers. And Lodge was awarded a yellow card for his part in that action. Caught high up the field and knew that he couldn't allow Central Valley to advance any further up the sideline. Kind of did what he had to do and used all of that 6'5" frame to take him out of the play. A long shot fired in and palmed over by Marancio in the final minute of first half before we reach stoppage time here. Coronado hit that one from distance. pretty central in the end, but nearly caught out Marazio. And a late flurry of hope here as the first half coming to a close. Gomez. Gets another chance to swing one in off the back of Tor, and it could have fell anywhere, but Lodge was the first one to it. Headed forward now. And picked up by Nembhard. Heckenberg has 2 minutes of stoppage time tacked on. Fuego feeling the momentum. Heckenberg walled off by Reedy. Great defensive play, tracking back. It's one of the phenomenal qualities of Pierre Reedy, Spokane's goal scorer here in the first half. His defensive work is tireless. He's the only player that has started all 9 games, now 10, in all competitions for Spokane, including every game in the US Open Cup. He played heavy minutes, and Lee Wiedemann had high compliments for his number 11 for his moment of quality towards the end of their last league match against Richmond, which was a great long run. And here he is again, trying to do the same, teeing it up, looking for heel. Tor got enough on the header, but Coronado with more work to do as there's still a few seconds left in the first half. Can Fuego fly up the other way? Lodge launched forward, and Doling in no hurry to pick it up. Spokane looking pretty happy with their 1-goal cushion. Out of play from Luis Heel. And everybody glancing at the clock. The first half comes to a close with Spokane 1 goal in front. Pierre Reedy in the 20th minute from just outside the edge of the box, assisted by Josh Doling, goes into history books as the first goal scorer of the USL Jägermeister Cup. We've got highlights, news and notes, and plenty more from around League One here on this opening day of Cup action.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day, in time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Spring is here, and so is Velocity FC Professional Men's Soccer. Don't miss the historic first season in one Spokane stadium. Feel the rumble in May with 3 home matches on Saturday, May 11th, Sunday, May 19th, and Saturday, May 25th. Get your tickets now.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
halftime here in Spokane, and that gives us an opportunity to check out the highlights from our last round of league matches. Let's check them out. We start with Spokane's last game on the road against Richmond, wrapping up their 10-day road trip, and Roman Mettener getting it off to a great start, much like he did in their season opener against Richmond. And it was Andre Lewis who solidified the series sweep on the season. He loves a goal from outside the box, and he hit another one to bury Richmond kickers by a final score of 2-0, and Spokane came away with the 3 points. The next game we take a look at here was Chattanooga and Northern Colorado. The Tennessee team at home, and Ropapa Mensah is a man on fire right now. 4 goals in his last 2 USL League One games, 6 goals in his last 5 in all competitions. And it was him who got things started, got the Chattanooga fans on their feet. But deep in stoppage time, Ethan Horde struck back. This was USL League One goal of the week in the 98th minute as Chattanooga dropped 2 points that they had in their hands at home. Meanwhile, top of the table team, Greenville triumph, keeping things rolling. Got a little help there from Tormenta's Ford Parker, who dropped it on a plate for Leo Castro, and you can only keep Ryan McKinnon off the score sheet for so long. It took until the second half, but the Swissman got in, got 2 goals towards the end of this match. You just saw that first one off of the right-footed strike, and then he's just a one-man counterattack, taking it all the way through Tormenta, who pushed and pushed, huffed and puffed, could not blow the house down. They get blanked. Greenville score 3 yet again, and McKinnon earns his 5th Player of the Week honor, up to 5 goals on the USL League One season. That's all for the highlights. We'll be back with more here at halftime.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
Distance, oh, what an effort, and it's special.
Machoma fires! Oh!
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
It is a historic day here on the opening day of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Thanks for joining us as we take a look around the USL with our news and notes. Also announced today, Portland Hearts of Pine. We knew they were coming to League One in 2025. We got the official visual and the official name dropped today. I definitely encourage everybody to go check that out on the USL site for the full story. It is truly awesome. Also, Central Valley fans will be interested in Alexis Cerritos making his way back to USL League One. Of course, Central Valley's all-time leader in goals and assists. And he is heading to Lexington, who've had a tough start to the season, but looking to add more and more firepower as the season rolls on, and getting a Fuego legend to do so. Now, USL Jägermeister Cup will be back in a couple of weeks after this set of games that we have today and Wednesday. Here is that schedule. It's all happening on the same day. This is going to be a rockin' day of soccer, so mark it down on your calendars. All 12 teams in action, and if you're thinking specifically about the West group between Central Valley and Spokane, those two games are at the bottom. Spokane will be the nightcap. They have an intergroup game against Union Omaha, which might be between the top two teams in this group. Meanwhile, Central Valley Fuego will be heading to Lexington. So that is one of their non-group games that will take place a couple weeks from today. Scan the QR code to play now for your guarantee to win one of 20 unique participating Spokane and Coeur d'Alene local restaurant discounts. Thank you to our footballer fuel partners, Caruso's, De Leon's Taco and Bar, The Burger Dock, Flatstick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Jimmy John's, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Steam Plant Restaurant and Brew Pub. We'll be back to wrap up halftime right after this.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
Live on the edge this summer with professional soccer in Spokane. Check out the Velocity FC 5-match flex package. You get to pick 4 matches and see an international friendly versus the renowned Chivas de Guadalajara from Mexico on June 2nd. Secure your matches and seats while this special offer lasts.
It's true that a Windermere agent's client decided to experiment with power washing their deck a day before the house was supposed to go on the market. It's true that he may have accidentally destroyed said deck. Now, you might wonder, how did that deck get torn out, replaced, and stained in one day? In time for the listing to go live the next morning? We'll never tell.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. And now a chance to take a look at our first half highlights. Things got going underway quickly for Spokane, forcing Zuluaga into a save from Josh Doling, and things really just didn't stop from there. Spokane was all over this game from the jump. I thought that Luis Hill had done the unthinkable and scored from that free kick, but in fact it went just wide, and here was our first half goal. Doling setting up Reedy through the trees and hitting the back of the net with a beautiful left-footed strike. Look at that, 5 red jerseys converging on him. able to steer it past Zuluaga, who made a couple of really nice saves in that first half. Here was an interesting play involving the goalkeeper. Had to dribble it back into his box and then win a foul like a midfielder under pressure there, but got away with it in the end. And a couple chances, few and far between for Central Valley Fuego. Long shots were about as much as they could muster. And Marancio stood up well on that occasion. Derek Waldeck trying to add a spectacular volley at some point as well. And then, as I mentioned, it was really just those shots from deep, only the entire first half for Central Valley Fuego. 2 of those on target, and as you can see from the stats, Spokane certainly on top here. But Central Valley Fuego only 1 goal behind, and they have showed a penchant to be able to score and score in bunches this season. Of course, USL Jägermeister Cup is also encouraging more goals, so don't be surprised if you see Fuego throw some numbers at it here in the second half. Really nothing to lose, and again, as we've mentioned a few times, the teams that score the most goals, that finish second place in the groups, don't win their groups, will earn a semifinal spot, and it is that tiebreaker in the standing. So goals will be at a premium, and Spokane certainly want to add a lot more than that 1 that's on the board right now. One of the most fascinating parts of that first half was Jermaine Jones' tactical switch in the 40th minute, introducing Mohamed Dabo into the mix, and their debutant Javier Mariona coming off as they reshifted some things. There was also another sub of Apollon off for Mendiola. Those took place 5 minutes before halftime. So interesting timing for Jermaine Jones to be able to get the change out. They hold off Spokane Velocity from a second goal in that final period of the first half. Even had a couple shots of their own. They get back into the locker room with a chance to regroup and a chance to sort out what Jones wants to see after that change. Be interested to see if there's a new spark here from Central Valley entering the second half. And a reminder to everybody as well, the altered rules in the USL Jägermeister Cup. If the game ends tied after 90 minutes plus stoppage time, it will go straight to penalties. So should Central Valley peg one back, that should be in the back of your head. Longmire high into the sky as One Spokane Stadium lifts its squad in the first ever game of the USL Jägermeister Cup. My man Jack trying to steal my thunder, but I am Parker Johnson here with you today from Spokane. And Jack, we can discuss that later. But we've got a good game on our hands right now in the Western group of the USL Jägermeister Cup. If you missed us from the start, bouncing around between some of the other contests tonight, or maybe second screening even, Central Valley has gone with the strategy of rotation, treating this like a true cup competition in the classic there, as shout out to the producers getting me hooked up. But Spokane, on the other hand, going with a very strong team, a team that has taken them to second place in the standings in the Young League One campaign. They came off a very difficult 10-game road trip during which they never returned to Spokane. They played 3 matches, drawing the first against Lexington, flying across the country for an Open Cup match against Las Vegas, which they dropped in extra time. And with those tired legs, they went into Richmond and got a huge 3 points. So the resilience of this squad has been impressive in the young season. They got a bit of time to rest before this one, and their starting squad has looked very strong. Long throw from Mettener. Dealt with well enough by Central Valley. It took the second clearance from Dabo, whose dogged nature is definitely a welcome change for Fuego in that midfield. who were cut through easily at times in the first half by Spokane. But he's the most tenured player on this squad. 3rd season with the Fresno club. And I think I speak for all the Central Valley fans in saying they will be a lot more comfortable with him sitting in the middle of the park for this half. Raul Mendiola should bring a spark in attack as well. He was that other sub in the 40th minute. You can see him at the bottom of your picture. Striding through the middle, John Brown able to keep possession. Spreads it for Gomez. Twirling no-look pass into Dabo, who has Chris Heckenberg for company. Heckenberg going by himself, takes a tumble, no foul given. Great play out of the back from Spokane. Heel has space through the middle, Doling looking for him and couldn't get the right angle on it. You could see Heel pointing to where he wanted it. Threading the needle, maybe not the best part of Doling's game, but certainly capable of making a better pass for Heel there. Central Valley able to get away with it. They say it's those 5 minutes either side of halftime. They negotiated the end of the first half well, but Spokane looking dangerous again to start the second half. Lewis caught up by Brown. Great work defensively, and Doling hacks him down. Referee will issue a yellow card and a stern word here as well. Doling knows what he did. No issues with that card. We've seen slightly more tactical fouling, I would say, from Velocity. Thinking about that yellow card from Lodge as well in the first half. So 3 Spokane players in the book now, Doling, Fernandez, and Lodge. 2 for Central Valley, Chris Heckenberg and Clayton Torr. Not to say that it's been an overly aggressive or chippy game by any means, but just a few of those tactical fouls coming at key moments where referee left with little choice but to hand out a yellow card. There's some contact from Torr. And Central Valley play on. Velocity fans, get match ready with the latest Velocity merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Fans decked out today at One Spokane Stadium. Can hold up to 5,000 and packed to the gills on a beautiful afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff local time, setting the stage for a historic weekend in USL. This new Jägermeister Cup. John Brown teeing it up. Don't know if he was looking for a cross or a shot, but in the end, he earns a corner. And the longer Central Valley stay in this game, the more dangerous it gets for Spokane. Mendiola whipped in and Lodge heads away. Comes back out to Mendiola, the former LA Galaxy man, sends it in. And Yaya was the closest man in a red shirt just over his head. It's been a good debut for Achayaya, the Ghanaian who grew up in the Bronx. He's been very steady at center back alongside Deshaun Nembhard. That's been a real area of concern for Central Valley Fuego. They tried to get him in before the last match and weren't able to get it over the line in time. Mohamed Dabo ended up starting that game at center half. So this a much better option for Jermaine Jones. Dabo to Coronado. takes some contact from Reedy. Still our lone goal scorer, Pierre Reedy. The player who's overcome incredible adversity in his career. So we'll get back to that in just a moment after Mendiola bounces it off. Reedy, multiple ACL tears in college. Fought through, made it to the College Cup with Penn State, and bounced around a couple of professional clubs. He met up with Lee Wiedman during Wiedman's time as an assistant coach with Charleston Battery. They make it to the USL final, and Reedy takes the jump with him to join this expansion club, and it has worked out very well. Here comes Central Valley again. Lasered into the back post. Bicycle! Nembhard going for the spectacular. It's a great effort. Completely improvised in the moment. See your center back get up like that. We saw one in the Henny Derby a couple weeks ago. Successful bicycle kick. And I know I've seen Longmire try it this year for Spokane as well. Everybody wants that dream play that you think of as a kid in the backyard, on the trampoline, whatever it may be, wherever you can get a soft landing. Roman Mettener, like a pillow with his first touch. And Dabo. Oh, stop and go from Siobhan John Brown. Coronado off of his big toe as the touch eluded him. A huge opportunity for Central Valley, nearly from the exact spot on the pitch that Reedy scored his goal. And individual brilliance setting it up from Siobhan John Brown. The Grenadian has been, according to Jermaine Jones, the best player on Fuego FC this season. He's been so impressed with his work ethic and his ability to raise the level of his teammates, taking the game by control. And showing that flash in the pan ability to get past the defender in that last sequence. Gomez with a clean tackle on heel. And cleaned up well by Longmire. That is the identity of this Spokane team. One man loses it, the next steps up, and now Reedy comes the other way. Stuck the landing on the somersault, but that's not where you want to find yourself as a left winger. Coronado takes it off the chest, contact from behind, and Fuego will play this one quickly. He's got John Brown, looked up towards the back post, brings it down right in between two players. Tor taking his chances and out for a throw. Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Waldeck lasers one in to Heel. More than capable of controlling it. 2 runners on the backside. But Yaya cuts it out. Mendiola. Good second effort to track it down. And a contested ball. Not sure who it went off last. It will be a Spokane throw. Metanera was waiting for the right moment. Never quite arrived for him. Heckenberg coming away with it. Clipped in. Vasquez has been quiet today. Longmire took him out with the standing tackle. Metanera almost gave it right back, but did enough to buy his team some time here for the throw-in. Central Valley have used all of these opportunities, given Spokane a taste of their own medicine, really, as a team that has thrived off the long throw. So popular these days. Turn every chance you can get into a set piece. John Brown launching it. But Spokane very good in the air with Longmire and Losh back there. Longmire able to get it clear. Tor intercepts. Drop of the shoulder from Pierre Reedy. Ooh, and Doling was in behind, but Reedy still going. And he showed too much of his studs. Dabo went down. Reedy did take the ball, but I think a dangerous act, and that's all that the referee is trying to explain to him here. It's one that as a player you stand there and ask, what else could I have done to keep control of the ball there? But in the interest of safety, whistle meets lips, and Fuego have a free kick. John Brown spots Mendiola. Game looking just a little bit scattered at the moment. 30 minutes to go. Spokane have controlled most of the action, but only the 1 goal to show for it. Fernandez going down. And Heckenberg whistled for the foul. He had to be careful. He is already in the referee's book. Longmire shimmies away, and Mauricio doesn't get a lot of distance, but plenty of time for his teammates to get back in position. Another foul late from Fernandez. He's also on a yellow card. And some of those repercussions of the early bookings causing some murmurs throughout the crowd, as there's a lot of techie challenges coming in. Here's another look at the contacts. 50-50 ball, and Coronado more than anything just tried to get in front of it to draw that contact and make sure that if Fernandez came through that it would be a foul. Some handbags both ways. Longmire and Heel shoving a little bit. Nembhard doesn't like being pushed around, but center back duo for Spokane. And the captain, Heel, has some thoughts on the matter as well. So referee's going to draw everybody in, or at least Lewis and Yaya, who I guess were the first two who got this whole thing kicked off. Now yellow's going both ways, and ooh, Lewis didn't want to shake Yaya's hand. Not that he's obliged to. But just adding a bit of spice to this 1-0 contest here in the Jägermeister Cup. 30 minutes to go, and things are getting interesting. The double yellow, Lewis and Yaya, go in the book. That brings us up to 7 cards issued so far. All of them of the yellow variety up to this point. Can't rule anything out the way that this game is headed. Gomez and Mendiola having a congress over this roughly 35-yard free kick. Looks ripe for a in-swinging delivery behind that back line, ahead of the goalkeeper. A lot of space in that corridor of uncertainty. Who can put it there for Spokane? Mendiola runs off of it. It goes short, top of the box, diving header. Wow, Vasquez did about as much as he could with it. But a header from the top of the box, always going to be tough. Reminiscent of Kevin De Bruyne's effort recently. If those Premier League fans out there remember that one. Scan the QR code to play now for your guarantee to win one of 20 unique participating Spokane and Coeur d'Alene local restaurant discounts. Thank you to our footballer fuel partners, Caruso's, De Leon's Taco and Bar, The Burger Dock, Plastic Pub, TT's Barbecue, Jimmy John's, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Steam Plant Restaurant and Brew Pub. Getting to that period of the game where coaches usually think about subs. Of course, Jones pulled the trigger early in the first half, making a double switch 5 minutes before the halftime break. And curious to see if fresh legs are going to join this party. Headed away by Tor, who's done a good job filling in at right back today. Another area without Omar Lemus, where Central Valley down a man who they're used to seeing in the starting lineup. Lemus, so much quality about him, especially going forward. Tor is certainly a more defensive option, but he's done his part as well as he passes off to Heckenberg and gets fouled afterwards. And the array of set pieces continues, and we will see a sub here in the 66th minute. And for Spokane, Ariel Mumba comes on. Kamarni Smith made his way off the pitch for Mumba. Mumba, an exciting attacking player, as it's announced that Jack Denton will also come in a like-for-like switch for Colin Fernandez. Fernandez on a yellow, so a little bit of caution involved in that decision as well from Wiedemann. And we are set for the free kick. Mendiola headed across. Heckenberg needed to do better with the second ball, and there is an injury here from, I believe, Acha Isayaya. Metener offering his condolences, and Yaya's in a lot of pain there in the 6-yard box. He was the one who contested the first ball in from Mendiola. Just confirmation of the switches for Spokane here. Mumba coming in on the wing for Kamarni Smith, and Denton in the middle of the park for Colin Fernandez. Both like-for-like switches. Won't change anything up in the 4-2-3-1 shape that has become pretty familiar under Lee Wiedman. Consistency has really been part of their game. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Get back underway with Denton getting his first touches of the ball. He has been excellent as a substitute and spot starter this year for Velocity FC. One of 3 former Missouri State players, along with Doling and Javier Martin Heel, as the long ball sits up for Mumba. He's waiting for help, fires it in. Heel, it was a tough one to deal with, and sent well over the bar, but immediate impact from Mumba. Knew there wasn't a lot of space with the retreating Dabo pressuring Luis Heel, and even though that was a tough ball to handle, Heel, of course, feeling that he could have done better with that. Ooh. Gomez with the nutmeg. Doesn't come to much for Fuego, though. And Yaya at full strength, giving the barge through the back of Luis Heel. Well, we can say one thing. Yaya certainly looks the part. He's been involved in attacking set pieces. He's been defending. He's gone in the book. He's had a dust-up. This is a player who looks ready for a lot more action in a Fuego jersey. Making his debut today. Lewis looking for Josh Doling. Hasn't had a lot of service today. That's been the story of the season for him. Just a lone penalty kick goal in USL League One through their 6 games, but he's played just about every minute. And that is a statement towards his overall play for the team. Wiedman said that he has every quality you want in a number 9, and his finishing and training is just waiting for a chance to be showcased in the game, as Mumba with the light feet and the third man combination to Metaner clipped in, and Lewis had his eyes on a spectacular first touch there. Lewis has scored few sensational goals this season. He was their Open Cup hero and then added to the tally in their last League One match against Richmond. Saw those halftime highlights at halftime. It felt like Metaner was trying to tee him up for another one. Mumba with room to run. Great defending from Gomez. Timed that tackle perfectly. And Dabo calmly out of the back, playing with Yaya. Vasquez taken down by his opposite number 14. Michael Zapata having an extra word with Mumba, and we get a pair of substitutions from Central Valley Fuego to respond to those changes from Spokane. Jose Carrera Garcia, a calming and impressive influence in the midfield, kind of getting back to a little bit of that starting unit, at least between he and Dabo in the middle. And meanwhile, Cutis Lawal trying to cause some problems up top. He scored off the bench against Chattanooga Red Wolves in the last League One match. So he replaces Vasquez, who wasn't able to get any change out of Ahmed Longmire and Marcelo Lage, not that many have this season. But Lawal will be a different threat, certainly more of a frame to hold up against those big two, and as I mentioned, that dynamism off the bench that he brings. His last stop was as an indoor soccer player in MASL with Milwaukee Wave, where he was a potent goal scorer for them. 12 goals in 16 matches. Of course, they flow a bit more freely in indoor soccer. Dabo, round the corner, looking for Coronado, who is unable to catch up to it. Lage taking his chances here that this ball is going to go out of play and ran himself into some trouble. Mettener with an important header. And those are those moments of focus you can't lose towards the end of the match when the legs get tired. Positive touch from Mumba. Has the run from Mettener, back post! Zuluaga with the telling touch. The space opened up, and Mettener has already scored 1 goal this season from a similar position, where he gets in that crossing range and teases it up towards the vicinity of the far post, and kind of just hope for the best, especially on a windy day with a less experienced goalkeeper. But it sets up an Idaho Central Credit Union corner to be taken by Waldeck. 15 minutes to go in the inaugural match of the USL Jägermeister Cup. 3 points on the line in group standings. And if Central Valley are able to get one back, they could potentially force penalties at the end of 90 minutes. Denton with a yellow card. I think that was his first foul, but that has not stopped the referee today. He's been consistent across the board, putting his foot down early on. And Denton becomes the 5th Spokane Velocity player to receive a yellow card. And it is worth mentioning that yellow cards carry over into the USL League One tallies. The goals and points earned do not. But for the sake of discipline, you do have to make a note of all those yellow cards that have been thrown out today. Whipped in and dealt with by Longmire. Yaya hacked down by Josh Doling, another one of those players on a card, and now Yaya, this is the opposite leg, seems to be cramping up. Velocity fans, scan the QR code to get your single match tickets today as the season rolls on. Lots to be excited about in Spokane as Yaya back to his feet. The home fans hoping for another shutout victory following up that match against Richmond. Mumba takes it down, and Mettenair. Lots of space. Heel was free in the middle. Now he's closed down by Yaya. Lewis to Denton. Carrera finds Mendiola. Pair of substitutes combining. And a wonderful pullback from Coronado. The flow starting to show. Mendiola's in the channel. Instead, Lawal wants to go himself. Cutest Lawal running into Mendiola, who wanted the ball the first time around and just got in each other's way. But a poor clearance, and Dabo doesn't hold on to it. Doling doing very well to win it back. Sliding challenge from Nembhard. Fuego with their foot on the gas. John Brown with the recovery here. He seems to have shifted into a right back position after those last set of subs. I mistakenly said earlier that Vasquez had come off. He's actually playing right wing to allow for Cutest to go through the middle. Cutest Lawal. But space open. Heel off the post. The foot of the upright keeping Spokane off the board in the second half, and Heel denied an exquisite goal. How did he find so much space free at the top of the box? Those center backs nowhere to be found for Fuego. John Brown, the latest to join the gaggle of players in the book of Michael Zapata. Now playing in more of an unfamiliar position, the number 7. Spokane still seeking that killer blow. They found it late against Richmond. Around the 75th minute in that game. They found it in stoppage time more than once in the US Open Cup. This team can rise to the big moments. Central Valley hanging on in hopes of a stunner. Waldeck, great ball in, almost an own goal, and it forces a phenomenal save out of Zuluaga. Well, what a journey that Hacha Isa Yaya has been on through 82 minutes here. It cramps in both legs and chances on both nets. Credit to Zuluaga for staying alert, even though there weren't any Spokane players on the end of that one. Great ball, though, from Waldeck, forcing the consternation inside the 6-yard box. And he wants to do it again from the corner kick. Brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union. Open header for Mumba. And that may not be his forte, but definitely could have done better with that. Now we got subs ready to arrive for both teams. You got Javier Martin Heel coming on for Josh Doling, who has run his race. He provided an assist for the only goal today, and he's replaced by, generally speaking, a more defensive player, but a very versatile one at that. So we'll see where the Spaniard lines up. He's spent time in the Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid youth setups. Came over to the States, played at Missouri State alongside Doling and Jack Denton. He's taking a space up on the left side at the moment. Looking forward for Reedy, who goes down. Can't believe there wasn't a call. As Davo tracking it down. And Reedy trying to get back involved. Never stops running. Carrera bounces it out. And now it's Abdul Razak Cromwell, who was the sub for Central Valley Fuego just now. Out there at left back. Carrera to John Brown, and now up the line for Vasquez, has it at the back post. Lawal was there. Longmire first. And through the back comes Dabo. A huge chance for Central Valley Fuego. Vasquez delivered the right ball as well, but so many times today that Longmire and Lodge have been in perfect position to deal with it. Just an outstanding display from that center back pairing that is such a rock for Spokane Velocity. And now down goes Lodge, who had won the header, got in the right position, and Lawal just cut him down. Martin Heel. Waldeck picks it up. Poked through for Martin Heel. And Reedy is trying to play a step ahead, but not on the same page as his new teammates over on that side. Reedy is the man playing as the de facto striker now after Doling's departure. The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. And every match of the Jägermeister Cup available right here on ESPN+. We thank everybody out there joining us today for this historic occasion in Spokane. Shouts of a handball against Longmire, not given. Special shout out to the Central Valley fans down at Crow and Wolf Brewing Company, taking in this one at the official watch party. They got a chance here. Vasquez! Wow, so close to sneaking in behind in the dying moments of this game. And he looked up, he saw where the goalkeeper was and didn't know the best way to get around him. Marancio did well to come in and shut down the angle. And just that presence put off Vasquez, who was simultaneously trying to control the ball, look for a route around him, see where the defenders were, watch the bounce off the turf. A lot going on in those milliseconds. But Central Valley that close to an equalizer that could have had us spiraling into a penalty shootout. Still on the table here for those uninitiated with the Jägermeister Cup format. Any ties go straight to penalties, during which an extra point is awarded. So you still get that point for the tie in the group standings. And then you can get an extra one if you win the shootout. Spokane hoping that that is not in the cards today. They've put forth a resolute defensive effort. Marancio has been there when needed. And plays like this from Waldeck are really going to help them see off the final couple minutes here, plus stoppage time. There have been a number of stoppages in the second half, substitutions, injuries. No goals to speak of since that 20th minute tally from Pierre Reedy. Carrera, beautiful reverse ball. Space for Cromwell. Cutting back inside. Abdul Razak, Cromwell! And Denton got in front of it. He had Mendiola on the outside. And Spokane bringing it the other way. They got the option to run it towards the corner, but numbers through the middle as well. And Metzner, to the satisfaction of Coach Wiedemann over there. You can see him pushing those hands down. Calm down, guys. We need to keep the ball. We are this close to starting with 3 points in the West group of the USL Jägermeister Cup. You get 8 matches in group play. Whipped in, Cromwell. There was a collision, I believe. Well, the referee blew his whistle. We're trying to figure out exactly what it was. I think Lawal is seeing a penalty kick here. Possible penalty in stoppage time. Was there a handball maybe? Cromwell put in the cross in the perfect location. And he got a push in the back from Lodge, but it was certainly soft. The referee's all over it. And you can see Lawal celebrating it like it was a goal. This is a remarkable turn of events. Marancio can't believe it. No video review here. And we have confirmed that it is a penalty kick. Coronado has the ball in his hands for now. A penalty kick that could send us into a shootout. Stoppage time chaos, courtesy of Central Valley Fuego. And Marcelo Lodge caught by the referee. Enough for it to be a penalty in the eyes of Michael Zapata. Spokane have controlled the entire game. They had chances to increase their lead. They didn't take them. And now here in the 93rd minute, Central Valley on the road. Second to last place in the league standings, coming up against the second place team. Have scrapped and clawed. They've gotten reinforcements from some of their regular starters in the second half. And the impact sub of Cromwell, who swung the ball in. Lawal, another substitute, who was attacking it, drawing the penalty. And it all leads to this. One Spokane Stadium rises. Coronado slots it in. And we're level in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take nothing for granted. Robert Coronado doing the damage from the penalty spot. Marancio went the wrong way. And that could just be an early look at what is to come. If this remains tied for whatever stoppage time we have left, this will send us into a penalty kick shootout. And there has been a yellow card issued to Lee Wiedman in the process. No doubt frustrated at that penalty decision that has stunned one Spokane Stadium. It was all under control. Could there be another twist here? We've reached the 94 minutes, but of course, most of that was taken up by that penalty decision. Coronado back on it here. And now Mendiola finds Cromwell. Marancio smothers it. Metaner hoping to find an outlet. Mendiola got the ball, but throwing for Spokane. We've reached 95 minutes. What a way to kick off the USL Jägermeister Cup. These teams have risen to the occasion as a late challenge comes through the back of a Spokane player. Lawal is the one who drew the penalty. He was whistled for that late tackle. Might be one last chance in it for the home side. Denton. Beautiful ball for Metaner. Back to Lewis. The man of the late heroics several times this season. Looked like it was written for him for a moment. Here he is, the Jamaican. And Coronado sends him to the turf, still has it at his feet. But his pass cut away looking for Cromwell. Mumba glides past the first defender, then taken off of it by Mendiola, who recovers. We're fully at the referee's discretion. And there goes the final whistle. So that brings us to a penalty shootout. That's right, straight to PKs in the USL Jägermeister Cup. 1-1 is the final after regulation. Pierre Reedy's 20th minute goal canceled out by a 93rd minute penalty kick for Central Valley Fuego, converted by Robert Coronado, which has given us a little taste of what we will expect here in these final moments. And let's take a look back at how we got here, awaiting our penalty shootout. This was the opening goal for Spokane. It feels so long ago after the drama that followed, but Pierre Reedy with an excellent strike, one that will not be soon forgotten by the home Spokane fans, as he was able to navigate through a sea of defenders and apply the finishing touch. And then it was this controversial decision, a penalty awarded with the push from Marcelo Lage. Coronado stepped up with ice in his veins as Mauricio headed the wrong way, but the goalkeeper will get a chance to make up for that here. And as a reminder of how this works, we have the penalty shootout. Each team 5 kicks from the spot. Best of 5 wins, otherwise you keep going in a sudden death fashion. Now, the twist here in the USL Jägermeister Cup is that the winner of the penalty shootout will be given an extra point in the standings. So both teams guaranteed to get a point here for this draw. And then the winner of our penalty shootout will get an extra point and move, for the moment, to first place in the West Group standings after 1 game in the Jägermeister Cup. The other group, or the other game in the group, I should say, is coming up on Wednesday. That will be Union Omaha hosting Northern Colorado. And so for now, Spokane Velocity headed into their first penalty shootout in club history. A day of firsts, no doubt, in Eastern Washington. And don't know exactly who made the decision, but it will be in front of that large supporters standing room section, which will be awesome for the fans because they can move down there and make a little extra noise when Central Valley steps up to the spot. You see the numbers trickling in. This should be a fantastic atmosphere for a penalty shootout. So up first steps Raul Mendiola, one of the most experienced players on Central Valley Fuego. He played for LA Galaxy from 2011 to 2018, made it all the way to the first team with 23 MLS appearances. Spent time in the championship, and here with a chance to get things off on the front foot for Central Valley Fuego. The team who kicks first, generally with a 60-40 edge in penalty shootouts. Mendiola from the spot. The slow run up and the feisty finish. And a shush to that bank of fans still piling in. 1-0. Central Valley off on the front foot. Let's take another look at this beautifully dispatched shot from Mendiola. Wouldn't have mattered if Mauricio went the right way there. And up first for Spokane is the captain, Luis Heel. Joint leading goal scorer this season with 2 of his own. He had a game-winning penalty against Northern Colorado earlier in the League One season, trying to level things in the shootout. Heel, cool as you like. And 1-1 after a penalty apiece. So here comes Coronado, who converted a PK not 10 minutes ago real time. It was the stoppage time equalizer if you joined us for this shootout. He got us here. He went left. Mauricio dove the wrong way. And now he switches it up, and so did Mauricio, and Central Valley 2-1 in front. excellent from Robert Coronado. Playing the mind games. You can see Marancio as he dives the wrong way, still in the air, watching that ball sail in the net. You know he was debating that decision. Will he go the same way? Will he switch it up? He makes the wrong choice, but credit Coronado for stepping up not once but twice today and sinking it. Now it's Roman Metzener. The pattern of experience continues. As Zuluaga with some dance moves, and it's off the crossbar! Whoa, Zuluaga! He thinks he got in Metzener's head. Not a lot can rattle the Madagascar international. And I don't know that Zuluaga would have stopped it if it was on frame, but he committed the cardinal sin and did not put it within the frame of the goal. Off the crossbar. So Central Valley 2-1 in front and in control of our penalty shootout. A massive turnaround from how the first 91 minutes of this game went before our stoppage time drama. Jose Carrera Garcia came on as a substitute. And he hits the crossbar as well. He's claiming the goalkeeper was off his line. Shake of the head from the referee. And Marancio, with much less antics about it, collapsed Garcia back to the halfway line. Andre Lewis has been clutch for Spokane, to say the least. He had the stoppage time equalizer a couple weeks ago against Las Vegas Lights. A late winner as well in the Open Cup in the earlier rounds. I don't know if Zuluaga's dances are going to throw him off here. Great finish as Zuluaga flew into the corner. May have been more towards the middle than anything, but in any case, it wasn't where the goalkeeper was. He gave it the big run up and then sort of took his foot off the pedal just at the end. And using that adrenaline against Zuluaga. So 2-2 after 3 kicks each. And Siobhan John Brown steps up for Fuego FC. John Brown just past the outstretched fingertips of Marancio. That is a quality penalty kick. If you go the right way and still beat the goalkeeper, that says a lot. It had the pace, it had the placement. Low along the ground. And that sets up Derek Waldeck to take the 4th penalty for Spokane Velocity FC. Waldeck 2 for 2 on penalties in his career. Hasn't taken one since 2022. Waldeck goes left and it's saved by Zuluaga. He's on his hands, he's on his knees, and he's getting that right palm out into the corner. Not enough pace on it from Waldeck. And at the moment, Zuluaga is looking like the hero. It's Zaire Vasquez, leading goal scorer for Central Valley Fuego in league play this season. He has a chance to ice it with this penalty. Marancio lifts the crowd. Zaire Vasquez from the spot to win it. Off the tips of Marancio, and Central Valley Fuego add the extra point here in this first ever USL Jägermeister Cup match. Wow. That was everything we could have hoped for. Central Valley clawing back in stoppage time. Zaire Vasquez with the winning penalty in the shootout. So Central Valley Fuego will it put 2 points on the board from their opening match. Spokane leave with 1, and we will wrap it all up for you just after this. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Spring is here, and so is Velocity FC Professional Men's Soccer. Don't miss the historic first season in one Spokane stadium. Feel the rumble in May with 3 home matches on Saturday, May 11th, Sunday, May 19th, and Saturday, May 25th. Get your tickets now.
Spokane is the home to the highest level of professional women's soccer in the country. Spokane Zephyr FC will play at One Spokane Stadium this August. Get your season tickets now. The winds of change are blowing. Be a part of history with your Zephyr FC.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Well, after our penalty shootout, Central Valley Fuego earns the extra point in USL Jägermeister Cup group play in the first ever game in this new exciting cup competition, and it truly lived up to the hype. 1-1 after full time, 4-2 on penalties, and our Modelo player of the match, none other than Robert Coronado. He was the one who put the twist in the tail of this one, wearing the captain's armband today. He scored the stoppage time penalty kick in regulation, stepping up and sending Marancio the wrong way. Then he took the second penalty in the shootout for Central Valley Fuego. He went the opposite way. So did Marancio, and he wins the game of chance with an outstanding piece of quality. And he also wins our Player of the Match award presented by Modelo. Let's check out the full-time highlights from this one as we tell the story of the first ever match in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Spokane Velocity are going to feel very disappointed that they didn't come away with the full 3 points after 90 minutes in this match. They were all over this game from the start. It was an early goal, 20th minute in the first half from Pierre Reedy that opened the scoring. And this was the goal that stuck alone on the scoreboard for much of this game. There were yellow cards galore. There were crazy plays left and right, and Spokane had more than enough chances to add to the 1-goal lead. This was a particularly wild sequence from the first half where you saw the first signs of what antics Zuluaga was going to give us in the shootout, and boy did he entertain. But towards the end of the match, this was one of the last few plays in regulation before the penalty kick. Metaner finding space. Mumba off the bench was excellent. He found Heel here, denied by the post. And really the story of this game, Spokane Velocity had it until they didn't. Marcelo Lodge coming through the back of Cutis Lawal. That was a decision that will be watched over and over and over, but you don't need to see this penalty again to know where it ended up. Coronado sent Marancio the wrong way, stepping up in a crucial moment for an undermanned Central Valley Fuego team and showing the leadership that Jermaine Jones has been seeking from his squad. It all came down to the 5th penalty for Fuego taken by Zaire Vasquez. and Marancio was unable to keep it out. Here's a look at our full-time stats. By the end of the match, Central Valley Fuego were able to even things out, but as I said, Spokane Velocity had the better share of the chances throughout this one. More quality opportunities and more possession, more corners as well. 10 yellow cards all told between these two teams in a feisty USL Jägermeister Cup opener. Well, if this was a look at what is in store this season in this brand new cup competition, I don't know about you, but I am certainly ready for more. We got things kicked off with 2 points for Central Valley Fuego, 1 point for Spokane Velocity in the West Group as these 12 USL League One teams take a shot at glory. Well, for our whole team, I want to give a special shout out to Steffi, Ed, and Luis in the studio. My name is Parker Johnson, signing off from Spokane.